I'm Jill Lee, founder and director of the Energy Healing Institute. You can find me online at energyhealinginstitute.org. This video is the culmination of a couple of months worth of work. This actually started before the first of the year, and here it is, March 14th, I believe, 2020. And what I'm talking about today is two concepts that I've been exploring clairvoyantly. And those concepts are infected thinking and immunity thinking. I've been exploring them based on social media, not based on the coronavirus, which is our sort of current infected state that we are dealing with across the world. But I really began this exploration as a clairvoyant because I was thinking about social media and the divisiveness that we now seem to have a pandemic of as we disagree with one another online. We can pick any number of topics. Certainly politics is one. And that was really what started off my thinking about all of this. It was, I realized that there would be this pig piling on when someone didn't agree with someone else. And the divisiveness and the hatred and the rage that would go towards whoever had made a statement that the majority or a group disagreed with. And there would be this sort of trouncing of the individual. It happened to me about, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I weighed in on a topic I never talk about because the person posting about the topic was someone who I knew to be insightful and thoughtful and not hysterical. And he was all of those things in the post. Not hysterical, in other words, and insightful and thoughtful. But some of his followers or some of his friends, even though I said, I am not taking a position here, I'm simply suggesting that there's another level of research that could be useful to this conversation, I got annihilated. So the group was infected with that thinking, and they took after me. Now, that's one example, and that's not why I started this, because that was only a couple of weeks ago. This was months and months and months and months. In fact, really several years now, as I've watched all of the political divisiveness online, and honestly, as a human being, participated from time to time. So, infected thinking, what is that? And I looked at it clairvoyantly for quite a while, because I was curious about the elements. I was curious about the energy. There is a very whipped up kind of energy that goes along with infected thinking. Escalating fears, anxiety that just rises and rises. There's the rage, there's the hatred, there's the shaming, there's the polarized thoughts and behaviors and emotions and beliefs. And there's, of course, the judgment of others who believe differently than us. And I even realized that when a group pig piles on and they start attacking one particular person, that there's a co-infection in the thinking that's going on. They're all joining together in the thought process to take this one person down. Now, with the coronavirus, I've added this rising panic that's going on as well to infected thinking. So, as I sat with that, I thought there has to be an antidote. What would that look like? What would that be? And eventually, I came up with the idea of immunity thinking. And I started looking at that clairvoyantly. And I saw things like connection and that sense of certainly being at one with self, because we all are. Each one of us is a unique and distinct personality and person on this planet, and yet we truly are all one. So I saw that sense of connection and that sense of collaboration. And I looked at the compassion that flows when we operate from unity. You know, you can go to a church service and you can be in that church service and feel that sense of communion and community that is in place. You can feel it at meetings that you attend, perhaps for organizations that you support or environmental concerns or nonprofits that you support, where you may not all agree on everything, yet you're united behind some sort of common cause. We know how to do that. And that's immunity thinking. That's about coming together. There's a grounded state. There's a very solid state that goes along with immunity thinking. Feet are on the ground, clarity emerges, calmness prevails, the sense of one for all is part of that experience, and the compassion that flows from immunity thinking, where it's not about taking someone down or taking something out. Rather, it's about elevating the system up so that it rises above the infection. Wow. Thought about all of that. I looked at all of that energy clairvoyantly. And then about 2 days ago, I was reflecting on all of this, and I started looking at the word immunity. And I realized that if you just wiggle that word around slightly, you come up with I am unity. Immunity. And I realized that that is the power that we bring to our thinking when we see ourselves as part of the whole. That we are, in fact, the I am of the one. And we are the whole. So as we now move into this global experience of the coronavirus or COVID-19, I don't want to undercut or underplay the seriousness of this situation in any way, shape, or form. We are going to see things that most of us in our lifetime, certainly from our place of privilege in the first world nations, we've never seen things like this. And yet, underneath it, what happens in a crisis? We come together. We work through immunity thinking. So as we march into this, I invite each one of us to look inside of ourselves and to see and root out our infected thinking by joining in to immunity thinking. Because one of the things that we know about the physical body is that it is always seeking homeostasis. And the immune system is part of how the body returns to balance when something runs amok in the system. So let's bring our immunity thinking together, not just because of coronavirus, but because we are truly part of the whole. And each one of us has a responsibility to stand up for what's right and to do what's right and to operate through our understanding that we come together as a whole and we can move mountains. So I hope these thoughts are useful to you. I am a clairvoyant. This is one of the ways that I see the world, and I just thought these ideas might be worth sharing. Have a good weekend. Take care of yourself, and remember, I am unity.